So what's going on, guys? We're another video where I talk about all the interesting things to me in the world of technology, and I want to talk about Grand Theft Auto 5. Rockstar just released this video showing the multiplayer capabilities of this game. You can create races, you can go on bank robberies in multiplayer mode, you can play games, either golf or tennis, or fly airplanes with your friends. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and I think what Rockstar is really doing is just showing us that this is the reason why they were taking a lot of time working on the game, and I think it's well worth it. And one more thing we have to talk about is this movie Jobs. I'm sure you guys have all heard about it. It's a new movie starring Ashton Kutcher as Steve Jobs. You know, really on this channel I don't talk about Steve Jobs because I understand there's a lot of people that like him, and I don't want to get into this whole bashing of Steve Jobs, but I have to say from my own reading and just my personal opinion about Steve Jobs is that as a marketing person, I think he was impressive. Comparisons to Leonardo da Vinci or Thomas Edison, I just think are stupid. And I think Ashton Kutcher compared him to Da Vinci in a recent interview, and I was like, wow, really? Da Vinci? Someone who's involved with the Renaissance era? I don't think so. And then if you want to talk about Thomas Edison, you know, I don't know. These are people who create ideas from nothing. Is it really saying anything about someone who just was good at marketing? I mean, marketing is an impressive thing to do, but we're not talking about a true inventor. A true inventor can do something on their own and conceive the idea on their own. But if you read into what he actually did, he was really working hard for the best interests of Apple. Now, if you're working for the best interests of the company that you work for, does that mean that you really are trying to lead the whole market and whole industry? I'll give you an example because I thought this was an interesting story, but nobody really wanted to talk about it. You know, in the beginning of HTML5, this is going on a few years ago when the development was still taking place, it wasn't really a standard, people were saying that it needed more work. Apple wanted to get a piece of HTML5 and own it. And everyone involved with W3C was like, you can't own a piece of HTML5. That's like owning a piece of PHP. You know, this is something, a technology that should be out there for everyone. They want to own technology, and they don't want to have anyone else having access to it unless Apple's getting compensated for it because they have shareholders that want to make money. So that's what Apple is in the game of. And going back to Steve Jobs, if he was such a terrific guy, why would he be involved in that ebook scandal? And that's not me saying it, that's the US government saying it. He is in those court papers, he's mentioned, and he is the person who is helping gathering all those publishers together to raise the price of the ebooks. Why? Because they were going after Amazon. Those are business practices that don't equate to an innovator or an inventor. Because if he was such an inventor, why was he working for Apple? And I'm talking about as an employee. He was there as someone that needed to market that company like nobody else, which he did, and to have them be profitable. But he was not someone who was innovating for the industry. Let's not get that twisted. You want to go back to a user interface where you could touch the screen, all this kind of stuff? Microsoft did it before Apple, nobody was appreciating it. Palm did it, not enough people were appreciating it. Why? Because they didn't have the marketing that Apple had. And Apple had Jobs. And Jobs was able to market them to success. And that's what happened. And this is why they're such a great, profitable company today. I don't like Apple, but the truth is, he did a terrific job in marketing their products to the public. He did such a fantastic job that when this ebook scandal came out, nobody really cares. They don't give a shit. $5 extra for an ebook? We didn't really have to pay that? Well, whatever. It's Apple. We like Apple. Okay, no problem. This is a result of Jobs' work with them and also the continuation of actions from Apple and how they view the market. And it's not in an innovative way. And I think that when people realize what's going on, which is probably not going to happen because people don't like to pay attention to the facts, they just want to go into the store and buy something, I understand that. But if you really want to get down to who Steve Jobs was, he was a successful marketer. Okay, CEO, businessman, business person, whatever. This is who he was. I'm not saying anything was wrong with the guy. I mean, really, you know, he did his job for the company that he worked for. That's what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to make the company money, and he did a great job doing it. So, round of applause for someone that was actually doing their job. But if you want to talk about him being this great guy, innovator, changing the industry, you know, great for the country, all that kind of stuff, yeah, you need to do a little bit more reading about him before you start going and saying those things. So those are my opinions. Of course, you guys can tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me know. You guys can sound off. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys later. Cheers.